this wasn't your directorial debut, but it was your first like big mocap kind of thing. Does it feel more natural to direct motion capture stuff?
It was weird how it happened, because actually it was going to be my directorial debut, because I started shooting this before the smaller film that I made, which then came out last year, because of the post-production on this. So in fact, yes, it was my first big helming job on my own. I'd already directed the second unit on the Hobbit trilogy. So in that experience I'd worked with actors, I'd worked with aerial photography, I'd worked with 3D, I'd had a lot of experience across, a lot of different, and faced many challenges on that. So I was ready to direct this. I wasn't, there's nothing kind of scale that was going to frighten me too much. However, I was faced with the most incredible A-list cast, including Cate Blanchett and Benedict Cumberbatch and Christian Bale, of course, and Naomie Harris, and the list goes on. So, and they were working with performance capture for the first time, many of them, not Benedict, he'd worked with it before. But so I wanted to create the right atmosphere for them to do their best work, and make them not feel exposed in any way or worried, or so it was really about allowing them to flourish. I mean, as finding characters is what they do brilliantly, but actually enabling them to do that in this world was what I had to really focus on.
I've never seen a man cub before. It's so small.
Can you talk a little bit about running like a wolf?
Yeah, so, obviously running on all fours is not very natural to a human. It is pretty challenging, but, I did do a lot of work, like physical and like physical training and agility training to really get that authenticity for Mowgli. And, it was pretty challenging because I actually did a lot of research on YouTube, and I actually camped out with wolves in upstate New York in order to really see how the wolves interacted with each other and incorporate that into Mowgli.
What was that like, hanging out with the wolves?
Well, it was really interesting because, you got to see that interaction within the pack. And I think, obviously, as I said, incorporating that into Mowgli, I think, was very important. So, yeah.
So what was the draw for you to be in this movie?
I've known Andy since I was 19. He's the master of performance capture. He's a brilliant actor. He's become a brilliant director as well. It's a classic book. I've loved all the iterations of it. Loved the whole bare necessities and Baloo bear and on the tummy and all that. This is a version that nobody's seen before. If you've read the Kipling original writings, you've read it, but this is the most true version that has been made. And then wanting to learn about what all is this thing called performance capture and wanting to try it out.
Did you find that they were hesitant at all at first when doing the acting with the motion capture?
Do you know that everyone takes to it so quickly because there isn't really anything magical or mystical about it? It's yes, I mean, if you're playing a wolf, then you study wolf behaviour, or if you're playing a tiger, equally. But ultimately, it's about making character decisions. It's like who is this wolf? Who is Akela? What is his personality? And therefore is his physicality? Is he still? Is he stoic? Is he and the way that Peter Mullan played in. Exemplifies that equally with, Shere Khan. It's like he's born lame, and there, with that comes a certain amount of impotence and aggression towards, humanity as a result. And so, it's really acting and forming character, which is what. So there's nothing to. The actor has to be aware of their bodies to a certain extent, but it's not like you're pantomiming anything or you're sort of doing anything external. It comes from the heart.
I think our stuff was mostly like real plants and real trees and everything. We built these massive sets. I think there was a waterfall in one, and I think there was actually a river flowing through one of them, wow. And that was incredible. But that was challenging because. And plus we actually shot in South Africa, so we are shooting in the real jungle with snakes coming through, and I'm in bare feet and everything. Oh. Yeah, I think we caught over 80 or something snakes.
Oh so
yeah, so that was a bit challenging because obviously you don't want to get bitten. But,
yeah.
And South Africa is actually home to some of the most dangerous animals and snakes. So.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about performance capture. This is your first time doing it?
Yeah, but I suspect not my last, because I think this is probably a technology that we're going to have to get accustomed to, and very happily so. You know, it seems weird when you first start. You've got this camera rig around your head. That'll probably get smaller and smaller as time goes on. But you know, once you get used to that, it's no different than any other film set, where there are always distractions and things that you have to just kind of blank and put out of your head and just see what the character sees. You get to be in the same room as the other actors. You are moving around. You're really playing out the scene. It's not like just doing a voice for an animated film where you're standing in front of a mic and you don't even sometimes meet the other actors. It's far more similar to you know, a live action film than people would think.
Was it awkward for you to switch between directing and acting in this film?
That was a challenge, actually, because that is something that I had not done before, and especially with something as you know, technical in terms of the setup, the camera, and all of that. So, and also because of working with Rohan only, who's brilliant in the movie, and is this wonderfully kind of, you know, skillful, wise-headed young actor who had to deal with that, with all of this. But we only had him for such limited time during the day, because you do with children when you're working with them. So that directing and acting, and then only having him for a certain period of time, those are the biggest challenges, I suppose.
So, other than the headpiece, what were some of the difficulties, or are there any difficulties with motion capture?
You know, they stick the dots on your face. Other than that, no. I mean, you know, Rohan had to be there for the performance capture section and for the live action section as well. I just had to roll up for the performance capture stuff. So I would just turn up, you know, jump about, have fun with Andy and Rohan in a room for 2-3 days, and then they call me back a year and a half later, and we go do the same thing. And you know, it was great, because you got a lot of energy when you're just working for 3 days at a time.
Did you have more fun shooting the stuff where Mowgli was in the jungle, or with the humans?
Well, I mean, I think it was great actually to be able to work with, you know, Matthew and Frida, and obviously, I mean, because for Mowgli, this Frida really offers that first, like, kind of love that Mowgli gets from the humans. But I mean, obviously, I think they both have their positives and positives. But I mean, you know, obviously working with Matthew and Frida, as I said, in the jungle, it's really great though, because you get to work on those really great, amazing sets. It's really great. In South Africa, it is the real jungle.
What was it like working with? I don't know exactly how they did it, like with the motion capture.
Yeah. So
people.
Yeah. So the way it worked. I got involved in this back in 2014 when I was just 10 years old. I'm 14 now, but I mean, it's been a long time. But so yeah, it was really interesting, because I actually got to work across from like Christian and Cate and Benedict. So it is really great to be able to work with them. And you know, so yeah, sorry, getting back to the way it works. I flew over to England and LA to primarily capture their performance, where they were the head cams, and you know, they captured obviously their performance. And I would come back 6 months later to actually film principal photography for my stuff. So obviously, I you know, you see me in the hair with the makeup and everything. That is all real stuff. So
was it awkward to see your face on a panther?
No, it was fascinating, because I had no idea how they were going to do that. It's one thing to see Caesar, Andy, you know, was relatable, same frame, but as a panther, how are they going to manage that? But you still see it. You do see it in the eyes. That's really where it comes out, and that's where you see the emotion and everything. And it's a beautifully told film. Just the art in this is absolutely stunning. You don't often see art of this level with this kind of a budget as well. That's what's really surprising here.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Did you, now when you were doing the performance capture stuff, were there sets to help you, or was it just like in a room?
Blank room with boxes that
Wow.
we jumped around on. Yeah.
yeah.
So was it awkward at all acting across from people who I'm assuming were just in, like, you know, leotards with ping pong balls on it? Or?
Well, yes. So I mean, it's not really awkward or anything, because I mean, I really tried to embody Mowgli for this one and really get into his head in a way. And I think Andy really helped with that process, because when I saw like a Christian or someone, I almost saw Christian as a panther in a way, if you understand what I'm saying. But it's really great, because with performance capture, you can really see Christian's face through Bagheera and Christian's emotions through Bagheera. And this is a very Mowgli-centric story, as you can assume from the title, but it's really great from an audience perspective because you get to see it through Mowgli's eyes, and you can really see how Mowgli sees these animals with the human characteristics and everything. And on top of that, Rudyard Kipling actually wrote these animals with human characteristics and human traits in mind. So.
Man cub, the whole jungle has been watching you.